Hey folks, we're going to take a look at the where clause here and see if the performance of this doesn't just drive us crazy. So we'll give that a shot. Oh, sorry, my insulin is beeping at me here. It's bad timing. Just need a quick little boost here. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. So the where clause is optional, and we haven't used it yet. So select and from are required. Now we're going to look at the where clause, and where is actually going to come before an order by. But so if we wanted to get all the products of just one particular vendor, right? We can say, okay, let's select star from product where the V code is equal to. So we'll say, okay, we're going to restrict the results. And we only want results where the vendor code equals something particular. Let's look at, I think, 2134. We'll take a look, see if that works for us. So we're going to get everything from product if the vendor code is 2134. Right, so the where clause says only give me results where this condition is true. And we can put lots of logic in this where clause. It's really cool. It's really powerful here. So we can use equals, we can use the less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and then you also have a not equal. You've got two options here. You have a exclamation equals, is pretty common, not equals, or you also get a greater than, less than for a not equals option here. So whichever your pick is perfectly fine. Excuse me. So we can look at all of our products that match this particular result. What is it doing? Friends. All right. Says Edge is using too much now. Let's try that. Try and free up a little bit of, I don't know why it would need so much CPU just to display stuff, but sure, I guess it does. All right, so now we're getting our products where the vendor code, nope, that's everything, 21344. Well, that doesn't look right. I didn't do it. Let me try that one more time. Hit run. Confused now because we said equals. Let's give it one more try here. Yeah, it's just wants to use a bunch of CPU, probably to display everything here. It's a JavaScript sometimes. That's always fun, right? All right, there we go. That looks better. Okay, I don't know why I didn't include that the first time. That's super weird. But here we go. Now we get just where the vendor code is, 21344. Cool. So the where clause is working for us. So we're saying, okay, great. Here we go. Well, we could also say, hey, let's find all of our cheap products where our key price is less than 10, or maybe less than or equal to, right? Sure. We'll do that. Try highlighting it all. I don't know if that makes it any better or not here. So we can use some of those operations here. You can technically do a greater than or less than on text. It's just really awkward, and I wouldn't recommend it. You're going to get some weird results here because it's just not going to work very well. But for dates, right, we can do a greater than or less than from dates pretty easily. So we could look at particular dates, and there's a couple formats we can give it here, which is nice. All right, so here's all of our cheap products, right, where our price is less than $10. Awesome. So let's look at products compared by date here. So that was the P in date. And let's say, hey, how about if you're greater than or equal to, and you can give it a couple formats, right? The most usual format, right, we like is month dash day dash year, right? So we'd say, hey, where we are greater than or equal to, how about we'll do 0101, or January 15th, maybe? January 15th, 20, I don't actually know. What are some of these dates here? These are pretty old. So let's do 2018 here, because I see this date at least here, 1/20/2018. Let's give that a run here. See if we can find products where our date is greater than 1/15/2018. We can do greater than, we can do less than. We got lots of options. Let's see what we get here. Okay, it's thinking about it. Right, and while that's thinking about it, not only can we have a single restriction, we can have multiple restrictions. So we get two options here. These are called our logical operators. We get an AND operator, or we get an OR operator. With OR, if either one is true, we'll get the result. Right? It will say, hey, if the date is greater than this, or the price is more than $10. Great, we'll get both. Right? If either one of those is true, we'll get the result back. With an AND, they both need to be true. Oh goodness. It did not parse that right. I messed it up. I'm sorry. I think we confused it. We gave it a bad format. What do we need to give it for dates? All right, let's try 0101. Is that going to work for us? Let's try it here. I think the other date format, but it's a really funny format, is day and then the name of the month. So we could say January, like 01 January. So if we want to do the 15th of January, you could say 15 Jan 2018. All right, let's try that. Yeah, it looks like it's not liking the numbers here. Oracle's very particular. Yeah, they're lots of fun to work with. Let's see if this will generate a nice date for us. But with the logical ands and the logical ors, right? Ands both need to be true to get the result. With or, either one needs to be true to get the result. So if we said, okay, I want this and the P dot price is, P price is, how about, let's find the expensive ones, more than $10. Right? Both cases need to be true. So we're going to lose this one that's $9.95. We're going to lose this one that's $8.45. Lose one that's $6.95. Right? So we're only going to get results where it matches. Right? And we're saying, and both of them have to be true to meet that where clause so that we get the result here. So the where clause is restricting the result to say, okay, only give me if this matches here. And that you can have ands and ors in your where clause. You can say, I want this or this and this. You just need to be very careful with your parentheses. So it's always good to put parentheses around what you want because there is an order of precedence, which is a little bit funny. So the order of precedence, right, if we are using parentheses, parentheses will go first. Otherwise, the and is going to go first. We'll and the things together, and then we'll do the or. It gets a little bit confusing. So you always want to do your parentheses to force the right ones that you want. All right, so cool. We got our results back, and we see there's only a couple of them here. You can also use a not. A not is the opposite. So, but again, it's easy enough to just flip this. Instead of saying greater than, we could say less than. Instead of saying not greater than, the not keyword's a little bit funky here. And there's one other kind of join, which is kind of fun. They call it the old style join. You can actually do silly things like select star from product, and then just say product, comma, vendor. And that's going to give you everything from every product and every vendor in what's called a Cartesian product. It's really weird, so that every row of the product table will be joined with every row of the vendor table. So for every product, I'm going to get a duplicate row for product along with each and every vendor. We'll get this funny Cartesian product. Now, that seems like it wouldn't be very helpful, and it's not. But what you can do is you can use a where clause to say, okay, where my product dot vcode is equal to the vendor dot vcode. So we can add in a where clause that essentially does the join for me. So instead of putting the join in the from, you can put the join in the where clause. So it's an older style syntax. We don't do it very much anymore. But you can. So you might see it depending on what you get here. See if we can get this to run ever. No, that's not running at all. All right, so while we see if that one's going to run, there's a couple other cool special operators you get. There's a between operator. So we can say, hey, is my price between something and something? So we could do the exact same thing without the between operator. We could say, hey, the price is greater than 10 and price is less than 15 for everything that's $10 to $15. But with the between operator, we just say we're price between 10 and 15. So just a little shortcut here. This makes it a little bit easier to type. The in operator is super helpful and handy here. Oh, column ambiguously defined. Oh, goodness. Maybe it'll work now. Oh, this is the old style join. So with the in operator, you can give a given list. We'll say, okay, if the value is in some sort of list here. So if I had multiple vendors that I wanted to find, like select star from product where my V code is in, and then I'm going to give it a set of parentheses and give it a list of codes. So 21,344 and 51,349. I'm just making up numbers here. And if any of those match, then it'll be true. So that's really handy. If you want, you also get an operator called like. So we can say where my P description is like, and with like, we're allowed to give wildcards. So I can say, hey, the description here in quotes starts with an A, and I'm going to put a % sign. So the % sign is the wildcard when using like for matches. So anything that's A something here, we want to get out of our descriptions. So we'll see if we have any products that start with the letter A. See if we can get this one to run here. You can also use an underscore character, which is a single character wildcard. So it says only one particular anything here is okay, where the % sign wildcard means anything that comes after is fine. It doesn't have to just be one character. So more often than not, we'll use the % sign when we're doing these like operations here. And you can actually use more than one of them if you want. You can put the % sign at the beginning and the end, and we'll say, okay, show me everything that has just the letter A in it. We could find that. Or if we want to find everyone who has the last name Smith, or Smithson is another example they go through, so we can find anything that starts with this, which is great. Yep, let's see. It's still thinking hard about it. That's a bummer. Yeah, and then there's an is null operator. You can check if something is null. We can look for it and see. Oh, okay, so we didn't have any products that started with the letter A. I forget what the names of some of our products were. How about P? I think we had something with P. Take a look at that. See if we can get this one to run here. But we can check. All right, so there's a lot of cool things you can do in the where clause. You can also do a not in, remember the not operator. So not in lets you say, okay, it's not in a list of things. Just kind of a nice check here. All right, okay, this one finished. Fantastic. Cool, so we have a power painter and a PVC pipe. So where the description is like this P wildcard, P % sign for the wildcard. Now you can't do that with the equal sign. You've got to use the like operator. All right, we'll come back with the next video. We'll look at some aggregate processing next.